High Chancellor Vaeltar of the Zarathian Confederacy materialized in his personal teleportation chamber, his forearms trembling with a mixture of rage and disbelief. The emergency session of the Galactic Council had ended in chaos, and for the first time in his 3-century political career, he felt genuine fear. "Impossible," he muttered, in his native clicking language, his mandibles chattering anxiously. The humans were exiled 15,000 years ago. They should be extinct by now. His aide, a nervous cetacean from the water worlds of Aquarius Prime, floated in her environmental suit nearby. "Chancellor, the reports from our border scouts are confirmed. The Terran Dominion controls over 60% of the galaxy's star systems. Their technology—" She paused, her bioluminescent patches flickering rapidly. "It's beyond anything we've ever encountered." Vaeltar activated his private communication array, establishing encrypted channels with the other founding members of the Galactic Confederation. Across the galaxy, similar scenes of panic were unfolding. The insectoid hives, the crystal entities of Sigma Draconis, the machine collective of Vega all were grappling with the same horrifying revelation. Humanity had returned, and they were no longer the primitive, violent species that had been cast out millennia ago. The exile had been unanimous. Every civilized species in the galaxy had agreed. Humans were too dangerous, too unpredictable, too consumed by their primitive emotions and endless capacity for violence. The decision had been made to quarantine them to their single yellow star system and let natural selection take its course. But humans, it seemed, had other plans. Dr. Keithara, the Confederacy's leading xenoarchaeologist, materialized in Vaeltar's chamber through quantum entanglement transfer. Her crystalline form chimed with urgent harmonics as she accessed her data cores. "Chancellor, I've been analyzing the historical records," she began, her voice resonating like wind chimes in a storm. "The exile wasn't the end of human development. It was the beginning of their greatest leap forward." "Explain," Vaeltar demanded, his primary arms crossed, while his secondary hands operated his data interface. "When we blockaded their solar system, we assumed they would turn inward, potentially destroying themselves through their characteristic warfare. Instead, they did something unprecedented." Keithara projected a holographic timeline into the chamber's center. They unified. Completely. Within 50 years of the exile, every human faction had merged into a single government with one purpose, proving they deserved their place among the stars. The timeline showed humanity's rapid technological advancement. While the Galactic Confederation had grown complacent with their established technologies, humans had pushed the boundaries of physics itself. They developed faster than light travel that didn't rely on the galaxy's natural hyperspace lanes. They created artificial intelligence that surpassed even the machine collective's neural networks. Most remarkably, they had learned to manipulate dark matter and dark energy, the invisible forces that comprise 95% of the universe. How did they escape the quarantine? Vaeltar asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. "They didn't escape through our blockade," Keithara replied, her form dimming with the weight of revelation. "They left through dimensions we didn't even know existed. While we controlled 3-dimensional space around their system, they learned to navigate through the 11th dimension." A new presence materialized in the chamber General Krex of the warrior caste, his reptilian features scarred from countless battles. His scaled hide bore the marks of every major conflict in recent galactic history. "The reports from the frontier are worse than we imagined," Krex growled, his forked tongue tasting the fear in the air. "The humans haven't been conquering worlds, they've been liberating them. Every species under their dominion reports unprecedented prosperity, technological advancement, and individual freedom." Vaeltar's mandibles clicked in confusion. "Liberating? But humans are inherently violent. Our psychological profiles proved they were incapable of peaceful coexistence." "That was 15,000 years ago," Kethara chimed softly. Evolution doesn't stop just because we exile a species. They've had more time to develop than most civilizations exist. The humans who built the Terran Dominion are as different from their ancestors as we are from primitive microorganisms. The chamber's main display activated, showing an incoming transmission from the edge of Confederacy space. The image that appeared caused all three officials to step back in amazement. The human who materialized in the hologram bore little resemblance to the crude bipeds they remembered. Her form was elegant, enhanced with biomechanical augmentations that seemed to be living extensions of her body rather than crude implants. Her eyes held depths that suggested consciousness expanded far beyond ordinary biological limitations. Most unsettling of all, she radiated an aura of calm confidence that spoke of absolute power held in perfect control. "Greetings, members of the former Galactic Confederation," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate across multiple dimensions. "I am Admiral Elena Vasquez of the Terran Dominion's First Contact Division. We come to offer you a choice. Former Confederation?" Krex snarled, his warrior instincts flaring. "We still rule." "Gentle being," Elena interrupted with a smile that held no malice. "You rule approximately 8% of this galaxy's inhabited systems. The rest have already chosen to join our dominion. They were not conquered, they were invited." She gestured, and the hologram expanded to show the true scope of human expansion. Their territory didn't just span the galaxy, it extended into neighboring galaxies, pocket dimensions, and realms of existence that the Confederation couldn't even perceive. "Your ancestors exiled us because they feared our potential for violence," Elena continued. "They were right to fear us, but wrong about why. We weren't dangerous because we were violent. We were dangerous because we refused to accept limitations. Every species in this galaxy reached a certain level of development and then stopped, satisfied with their achievements, comfortable in their superiority." Veltar found his voice. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing you're not willing to give," Elena replied. "We offer membership in the Dominion. Full technological sharing, elimination of resource scarcity, expansion of consciousness beyond the boundaries of single-species thinking. We've learned to uplift entire civilizations to post-scarcity states while preserving their cultural uniqueness." "And if we refuse?" General Krex demanded. Elena's expression grew sad rather than threatening. "Then you continue as you are. The Dominion will establish a protective boundary around your remaining territory and ensure you're left undisturbed. You'll have what you've always wanted: isolation from those dangerous humans." "Protective boundary?" Kethar asked. "The galaxy is vast, and there are threats emerging from the dark spaces between galaxies that your current technology cannot detect or resist. Ancient entities that predate biological life, machine intelligences from parallel realities, cosmic parasites that consume entire galactic clusters. The universe is far more dangerous than any of our species originally understood." The three Confederacy leaders exchanged glances, each recognizing the bitter irony. They had exiled humanity to protect the galaxy from human aggression. Instead, they had forced humanity to evolve into the galaxy's protectors. "The choice is yours," Elena concluded, "but know this: the human fleet you've detected at your borders represents less than 1% of our actual military capacity. We've sent them not as a threat, but as a gesture of respect for your sovereignty. The real army, as you might say, hasn't even arrived yet. It won't need to." The transmission ended, leaving the three officials alone with the weight of a decision that would determine the fate of their entire civilization. Outside their chamber, the stars continued their ancient dance, unaware that the galaxy's power structure had shifted beneath them. The children who had been cast out had grown up to become the guardians their parents never imagined they could be. In the vast darkness of space, humanity waited with infinite patience for their former captors to choose their own destiny.